I'm Dr. AJ, so I'm sitting down with Rosemary Smith, Mrs. Smith, and Mrs. Smith has also become like a friend and family member now. I know her now for about 10 years. Again, I know her for about 10 years. And I like her to take charge at this stage, at this time, and tell us about 5 to 7 minutes of what she has gone through, her medical conditions, her personal responsibilities, what she has taken for her family, how hard she has worked over the last 10 years, how she has kept herself together. And let's see if we all can learn from Rosemary's experience and her essentially determination and her kind of tough journey, but a very successful journey over the last 10 years in terms of heart health. So let's Rosemary speak now for the next few minutes. I'll periodically guide her to make sure that we know everything what happened over the last 10 years. So tell Mrs. Smith what happened when I met you 10 years ago. What was going on?
Well, about 10 years ago, I had a family doctor that wasn't listening to my symptoms. I got really bad, ended up in the hospital. Then Dr. Shaw took over my care, where he gave me a lot of medication that took care of my health and myself. I've been trying to exercise, eat right.
So 10 years ago when I saw you, you were in the hospital emergency room at Sparrow, and you were essentially into heart failure.
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
And when the heart failure we found, we realized that being such a young person, how old you were at that time?
I was probably about 38.
So you were 38 years old, Rosemary,
Right.
and you were into heart failure. That's pretty concerning.
Yes, it was.
What you went through your mind when I say you have heart failure?
Well, right away when I was told that at Sparrow there was nothing that they could do, and they told me that I would just go home and there was nothing more they could do for me.
That was 10 years ago.
And that was 10 years ago.
How old your kids were at that time?
My daughter was 10. My youngest was about 5.
So your daughter was 10 years old. Your youngest son was 5 years,
And I
years old.
also had a 3-year-old. No, excuse me. My daughter was 10. I had another son that was 8 years old, and then my youngest son was about 5 years old. And my 8-year-old son, he was also diagnosed with heart problems at birth. So it was something in the family that my son and I kind of shared.
So you had a lot of things on your plate 10 years ago.
Yes.
Young family, young mom, a lot of responsibilities. And then when we talked about heart failure, we did the cardiac catheterization, and we found that all your arteries, all of them, were seriously blocked.
Yes, that
All
is
your
true.
arteries were seriously blocked, and bypass could not be done, stents could not be done. So I said, you're a young mom here. Unfortunately, and as I remember correctly, I hope you correct me, unfortunately, you're going through some rough economic times, and you had a kind of a state Medicaid type insurance. Remember that?
Right, yes.
And then I remember that, and I wanted you to have at least a candidate for heart transplant. Remember that?
Right, right.
And I sent you to U of M,
U of M, yes.
and we said, let's see if you need transplant because you're a 38-year-old young mom.
That's correct.
A lot
yeah.
of things to take care of it. So we sent you to U of M, but that day we also decided that we're going to work hard to see if we can keep your heart going.
That is correct.
And
That is
that's
correct.
when you took this big charge. Frankly, you took a big charge where you exercised, you took your medicines, you lost weight, you took care of your family,
Yes.
you stayed very focused, you stayed very determined, you prayed, I know you prayed every day.
Yes, oh yes.
And now here we are 10 years down the road. And I know in between you have gone through some leg blockage issue, you got an ICD,
Yeah.
you are in and out of the hospital with heart failure. When was the last time you were in the hospital?
Just last week.
So you were in the hospital last week, and you were there because there was fluid overload.
Right.
You retained a lot of salt and water. And I think to me, this is the type of uh, not a story because it's a real thing. This is the type of a thing I want people like you to help us, help me, help Hart, help everybody who's watching you to understand. It's just not the doctor. It's just not the medicine.
No, it's not. It's got to be myself, my family life, and I have a lot of family support, so that makes it very, very easy to maintain what I need to do. And
How about
I
your
get it
church?
done.
How about your church?
yeah, in my church too. Yep.
Do you think going to the church and faith
yeah.
is very
Oh
important?
yeah.
Faith is very important.
Yep,
No matter
it
what
is.
religion you belong to, faith is very important.
Yes, it is.
And I think, to me, you have kind of triumphed and you have really won all the battles I gave you. But recently something good happened to you. Tell me about that. It's just amazing. Finally a good thing hits you. Tell me about that.
I won $1,000 from Fox 44, Fox 47, and Dr. Shaw here, which couldn't have come at a better time. Recently, last May, my son passed away, 20 years old, with a heart condition. So that really took a toll on our family, getting him buried, and it just felt like the whole world was just crumbling in on us. And when I won that $1,000, it was just like such a relief that something did actually good happen to me, and it couldn't have been at a better time. And it just was great.
I think, again, you are a great example for our society to, raise kids right, see, unfortunately, son dying, and I think you are kind of a hero for us, and I think you can teach so many people who, unfortunately, in this economic times are going through rough times, and I think you work 2 days a week.
Yes, I do.
What do you do?
I help out an older lady to take her shopping and do her laundry, sweeping, and odds and ends, whatever she needs, hair appointments and stuff like that.
Here we have Rosemary, who has had heart failure for 10 years. She almost died 10 years ago. She was on a heart transplant list, and she is here today in this tough economic times where many people unfortunately have lost job. Here we have Rosemary, who works 2 days a week. She's found the work, she's helping a person, and she's making a living. I think, to me, you're just a great example for all of us.
Yes, I have to keep going because I've got 2 other kids that need me, and my husband, my family, so I've got a lot of stuff to look forward to. And
I think you will continue to do great. And
yeah,
I'm really happy, impressed, and just I commend you for everything you've done for yourself and your family.
and I appreciate that.